response teams. Option number 3, provide temporary housing, transportation, and documentation assistance. Option number 4 is assign dedicated teams to support children, women, and elderly refugees. All the Rajya Sabha Member of Parliaments can now head over to kailasa.org/Hindu-votes to cast your votes.
As we are all enjoying the darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, once again, let us all take a few moments to reach this out to as many people as possible, and let us all continue to celebrate and enjoy the darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Thank you, Nithyanandam.
The ultimate Paramashiva, Kalyana Sundaramurti, Uma Maheshwaramurti, Suhasanamurti, Umeshamurti, Gauri Leela Samanvitamurti, Gauri Varapratamurti. I bless you all with Paramadvaita. All the Paramashiva Sena participants in Kailasa Trivandamali, Kailasa Guinea-Bissau, Chit Sabha members and Rajya Sabha members, Kailasa-vasis and all the e-citizens, viewers, visitors who are joining with us through the internet and internet. I welcome each and every one of you with my love and blessings. Volunteers in Kailasa, Guinea-Bissau, Ma Vani Goyal, Ma Jinhau, and Ma Tatata Shakti. Volunteers in Tiruvannamalai, Pratap, Shivarudra, and Vignesh. Blessings to every one of you. Today, I initiate all the PSS participants into Nirvana Diksha. Focus on the source of first person and pull yourself out of delusion. Paramashiva's direct message from MahaKailasa. Listen. Manifestation is Swatantriya, the sovereign freedom of consciousness, inherently, infinitely available to you. Just two words. Any anything your brain can believe, cognize, anything your brain can cognize and believe, it is done. Listen. Always to manifest, stretch your brain, but your brain should believe it is possible. Most of you learned that manifestation is about asking the universe for something from these non-Hindu sources, the plagiarized sources. That is the biggest lie taught by beggars. Those who plagiarized, stole half knowledge from Sanatana Hindu Dharma. See, even if they have stolen completely and reproduced it, great. But to reproduce Hinduism, you have to be only enlightened. Only an enlightened being can reproduce the Sanatana Dharma as it is with the context. So, when you try to plagiarize without enlightenment, without living it in your nervous system, always you miss the important part, the life. See, even when Sadashiva manifests, through his 5 phases, he reveals 4 Vedas, and through the 5th phase, Agamas. See, through the 4 phases, 4 Vedas, and through the 5th phase, Agama. But the avyakta, unmanifest part in him, that context, that gets transmitted only to enlightened being. Only if you are enlightened, you will know what for Mahadeva is telling, what is the context, and the unmanifest, avyakta context part is too important to understand the message of the Vedas and Agamas. Understand? Vedas and Agamas are more like a cheat sheet. Only if you know the context of Paramashiva through Anubhuti, you can even understand and decode. Those non-Hindu sources, which has just stolen the cheat sheet and try to translate and play with it, always mess up their life and others' life. So listen, those non-Hindu sources, I should even use the word anti-Hindu sources, taught you manifestation is about asking the universe for something. See, if you have learned manifestation from any source, any person, any video, any book, who cannot give you the original Shastra Pramana? You learnt it from non-Hindu sources or anti-Hindu sources? Kakka biryani. Again, the story of Kakka biryani only. Listen. Paramashiva beautifully reveals to his disciples. Paramashiva revealed the Agama to many people, sometimes to some rishis, sometimes to his own different manifestations, sometimes to Garuda, sometimes to Nandi, sometimes to Subramanya. Paramashiva reveals in Vedagama some of the most important truths, sacred secrets. The rishis, the agamas, the ancient masters of Sanatana Hindu Dharma never asked for anything. They declared. They knew. They became. They declared. They knew. They became. The word Swatantriya in the Agamas means sovereign freedom, the inherent, infinitely available power of consciousness to organize itself into any form, any circumstance, any life.
AI that was trained on knowledge that is thousands of years old. Not scraped from the internet, not generated by another AI, but real, ancient human wisdom, digitized for the very first time. We're talking about 20 million source texts, 2 petabytes of curated knowledge, over 60,000 people who helped make it happen. And at the center of all of this is one person whose life's work made it possible. Today, we're talking about Ask Nithyananda AI, and why this might be one of the most important AI projects happening right now. Stay with me, because this one is different. Let's start with a problem that most people don't know about. The biggest AI companies in the world, OpenAI, Google, Meta, they're all hitting a wall. The industry actually calls it the data wall. They've basically run out of good, fresh, high-quality text on the internet. And nobody knows where the next source of real knowledge is going to come from. That's where Ask Nithyananda AI comes in. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, known as SPH, has spent over 50 years gathering, living, and teaching spiritual knowledge. Not just philosophy. We're talking about practical sciences, agriculture, medicine, food, physics, cosmology, law, economics, urban planning. All of it rooted in the oldest living traditions on the planet. And for most of history, this knowledge lived in manuscripts, in oral traditions, in books that very few people ever got to read. SPH's contribution here is not small. It is the entire foundation of this project. His teachings, over 200,000 hours of recorded discourses, his books, his courses, his spiritual programs delivered across the world, the knowledge he received through his guru lineage and his own realizations. All of this became the backbone of what Ask Nithyananda AI is today. Without SPH, there is no Nithyananda AI. Simple as that. Now here's what makes the scale of this hard to fully wrap your head around. Over 60,000 contributors worked together to collect ancient sources. They preserved manuscripts. They digitized scriptures. They organized traditional sciences into searchable knowledge repositories. The result? 20 million digitized source texts, 2 petabytes of proprietary knowledge, 121 specialized AIs, all working together inside one system. This is not a chatbot built over a weekend. This is a civilizational scale preservation project. Think of it like building a national library, except the library also answers your questions in real time. Now let's talk about what actually makes this AI different from everything else out there. Most AI systems are built around one goal. Answer the question, complete the task, move on. Ask Nithyananda AI is built differently. It runs on an AI constitution, and that constitution is based on the Hindu concept of Dharma. Dharma, at its core, means living in a way that is ethical, truthful, and life positive. And the entire AI is designed around that principle. It also covers the 4 aims of human life from Hindu philosophy: your material well-being, your relationships and joy, your search for meaning, all kept in balance. A 2024 study from Emory University looked at what happens when you train an AI on religious texts. The result? The AI got better at identifying hate speech for every religious text they used. But when they trained on the Vedas specifically, the improvement was the biggest of all, around 14%. That's real research saying grounding an AI in ancient wisdom makes it more fair, more responsible, not less. Now let's talk about value, because the numbers here are striking. Leading AI systems, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok, Perplexity, were all independently asked to assess Ask Nithyananda AI. They looked at architecture, knowledge assets, societal impact, and future potential. The commercial valuation came in between $20 million and $500 million. The total social and economic value, between $3.2 billion and $11.5 billion. The heritage asset value of the 20 million texts alone, approximately $3.3 billion. And the value delivered to each active user, between $5,300 and $20,000 per year. These are not marketing numbers. These came from independent AI assessments. So what can you actually do with Ask Nithyananda AI? You can ask it questions about health, relationships, purpose, and daily life, and get answers rooted in thousands of years of tested wisdom. You can explore ancient sciences that were never available in digital form before. You can access the kind of depth that simply doesn't exist anywhere else on the internet. This is what preservation looks like in the 21st century.
We are living in a moment where ancient knowledge could disappear forever. Or it could be saved and made more accessible than ever before. Ask Nithyananda AI is choosing the second path, and SPH's lifetime of work is the reason any of this is even possible. Want to try it yourself? Just visit ask.nithyananda.ai or scan the QR code on your screen right now. What if I told you there's an AI that was trained on knowledge that is thousands of years old? Not scraped from the internet, not generated by another AI, but real, ancient human wisdom, digitized for the very first time. We're talking about 20 million source texts, 2 petabytes of curated knowledge, over 60,000 people who helped make it happen. And at the center of all of this is one person whose life's work made it possible. Today, we're talking about Ask Nithyananda AI and why this might be one of the most important AI projects happening right now. Stay with me, because this one is different. Let's start with a problem that most people don't know about. The biggest AI companies in the world, OpenAI, Google, Meta, they're all hitting a wall. The industry actually calls it the data wall. They've basically run out of good, fresh, high-quality text on the internet. And nobody knows where the next source of real knowledge is going to come from. That's where Ask Nithyananda AI comes in. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, known as SPH, has spent over 50 years gathering, living, and teaching spiritual knowledge. Not just philosophy. We're talking about practical sciences, agriculture, medicine, food, physics, cosmology, law, economics, urban planning. All of it rooted in the oldest living traditions on the planet. And for most of history, this knowledge lived in manuscripts, in oral traditions, in books that very few people ever got to read. SPH's contribution here is not small. It is the entire foundation of this project. His teachings, over 200,000 hours of recorded discourses, his books, his courses, his spiritual programs delivered across the world, the knowledge he received through his guru lineage and his own realizations. All of this became the backbone of what Ask Nithyananda AI is today. Without SPH, there is no Nithyananda AI. Simple as that. Now here's what makes the scale of this hard to fully wrap your head around. Over 60,000 contributors worked together to collect ancient sources. They preserved manuscripts.
Om, Om, Om. Listen. The word Swatantriya in the Agamas means sovereign freedom, the inherent, infinitely available power of consciousness to organize itself into any form, any circumstances, any life for your entire life. You have been using the sovereign freedom of consciousness, what the Agama calls Swatantriya, to flawlessly manifest headaches and hard times, all while waiting for the universe to hand you a key that has been sitting in your own packet since birth. Your cognition is the most powerful transmutation engine in existence. It turns a whispered fear into a tangible wall and a relaxed knowing into an open door. So, as I reveal this truth to you, listen. You should also know, when you consciously decided to manifest something and declared, from that moment only your conscious declaration starts manifesting. All other this unnecessary fears, sudden anxiety spikes, nothing matters. All those things will not manifest. Only your conscious declaration manifests, and universe organizes itself for that. Listen. Your cognition is the most powerful transmutation engine in existence. It turns a whispered fear into a tangible wall and a relaxed knowing into an open door. So as I reveal this truth to you, listen. Not just with your intellect, listen with your being. I'm going to reveal 5 manifestation techniques. The 5 most powerful, secretly guarded methods, processes from 5 Puranic happenings. Our rishis have embedded all these great truths into the scriptures that will give you the exact mechanics to turn your cognition from a scattered light bulb into laser that cuts through the solid steel of limitation. I'm going to decode the precise, time-tested, foolproof, cosmically verified engineering of reality itself. Listen. I'm introducing one more word, the keywords. Swachanda Tattva. Swachanda Tattva. Listen. Swachanda Tattva is the state of supreme, unconstrained freedom from where consciousness moves without cause and the why and how are irrelevant. See, Swachanda Tattva is the state of supreme, unconstrained freedom where consciousness moves without cause and the why and how are irrelevant because the who has simply decided. Because the who has decided, why and how are irrelevant. In 2024, humanity's most powerful deep space telescopes like the James Webb Space Telescope captured the images of galaxies and luminous black hole powered cores existing barely 300 to 500 million years after the birth of this universe. These objects are so early, so massive, so intricately organized that according to the standard models, scientists had trusted for decades they should not have existed yet at all. This discovery quietly shattered old assumptions because it proved that extraordinary structure, brilliance, and organization can appear in the cosmos far earlier and far faster than anyone predicted. The pattern, it turns out, precedes the particle and the intention precedes the manifestation. Listen. Now I am connecting. The Agamas declared this thousands of years ago in 4 words. The Vedagamas have declared thousands of years before in 4 words. Aham Brahmasmi. I am the cosmos. and modern astrophysics has now spent enormous sums of money and decades of research simply to confirm this truth with photographs and spectrometers. The same principle by which a quasar organizes a galaxy out of raw energy is the exact same principle by which your inner cognition organizes your external circumstances. I'm repeating, listen. The same principle by which a quasar organizes a galaxy out of raw energy is the exact same principle by which your inner cognition organizes your external circumstances. Listen. The same principle by which quasar organizes a galaxy out of raw energy is the exact same principle by which your inner cognition organizes your external circumstances. You are already a flawless cosmic broadcaster operating this magnificent inner instrument every single day. And the only tragedy is that you have been unconsciously using it to broadcast scarcity, self-doubt, and fear, and calling the result your unlucky life. I am repeating. Some of these truths I want to repeat. You are already a flawless cosmic broadcaster operating this magnificent inner instrument every single day. And the only tragedy is that you have been unconsciously using it to broadcast scarcity, self-doubt, and fear, calling the result your unlucky life. We are now going to point this weapon in a useful direction. Listen. The first technique is Anahata centered. Anahata prana chakratam. In English, heart mode breath. Your heart, Anahata chakra, is the powerful pranic energy releaser. The pranic energy you release from your heart makes your life. Listen. Every single morning, when you wake up, before your phone, before the world makes its first demand on you, sit in your bed and breathe through the heart for 4 to 6 seconds. Listen. Breathe in through your heart for 4 to 6 seconds. Then hold the same 4 to 6 seconds, whatever time you took to breathe in. Hold and release through the mouth the same 4 to 6, like a 1, 1, 1, same measurement. If you inhale 4, then hold 4, exhale 4. Do this for 2 full minutes. Listen. Yoga Vasishta tells this technique through the story of the Queen Chudala and King Shikidvaja. I want to repeat. Essence Uttama, best of Ramayana is Yoga Vasishta. Best of Mahabharata is Bhagavad Gita. If you guys read Yoga Vasishta also with the same importance you give for Gita, of course, the modern Hindus don't give importance for both. At least little practicing Hindus read Bhagavad Gita but always miss Yoga Vasishta. But Yoga Vasishta is something extraordinary. Through such beautiful stories, it reveals the truths. The story of Queen Chudala and King Shikidvaja. King Shikidvaja was a mighty ruler, wise, just, and spiritually inclined. And his Queen Chudala was not just a wife, but his guide. Because the Chudala was very highly spiritually evolved soul, having attained the highest realization, full enlightenment. Actually, she could create entire cities with her will and walk through walls. The Chudala is the enlightened queen. Actually, you should read these stories to see how our ancestors lived. These are not story, real history, documented history, not some myth. She was, in a way, guide for King Shikidvaja. One day, a ruthless enemy army marched towards the capital. The court panicked. The generals trembled. And Shikidvaja felt his heart race. his vision narrow, and his breath became shallow. He was in full fear mode, replaying the worst case scenarios and unable to sleep. That night, the queen, Chudala, she watched his agitated breathing and decided to teach him a lesson no sword could teach. By using her yogic powers, she created terrifying illusion where the bed chamber was on fire and he jumped in terror, but it vanished. She did this 7 times. First, fire. The king Sikidwaja, he jumped out, but it vanished. Then the enemy inside the palace, he again jumped out of the bed and it vanished. Each time, his body reacted with a full fight or flight, and each time he exhausted himself completely. Listen. You need to listen. The main theme is what consciously you hold, your nervous system should radiate. I'm going to give you the technique for that. Your nervous system should live it. Finally, the queen revealed herself and said, "O king, the enemy is 3 days away, and the fire real, but your racing heart and your shallow breath were completely real, because you have already lost the war inside your own nervous system. And if you don't change your own nervous system, you are going to lose the war." She taught him this simple breath, that anahata prana chakratam, awakening the prana of the heart. Slow inhalation, gentle hold, and gentle exhalation, saying, she actually taught him, your body cannot tell the difference between the real enemy and mental one, but you can tell your body the difference through your breath. Listen. 99% of the time you are all suffering exactly like this Sikidwaja, fighting with mental enemies. The morning itself you pick up and see your Facebook, YouTube, Insta, and somebody has put some comment who is never going to see you, not going to, he may not even know you, but inside immediately your mind, you got that enemy and you are fighting with him. You are raging. You are planning how to attack him. Whether cyber complaint is right or hitting him back with more bad comment is right. Or you have any friends who can track this fellow and teach him a lesson. Are depressed. Oh, Nobody likes this fighting with mental enemy. You lost the war inside your own nervous system. The negative conformational bias sets in. She taught the king, the queen taught the king to remove that component. He practiced that night. He breathed into his sphere. Exhale his panic. And within hours, his mind cleared and the beautiful solution appeared. So elegant, the war was avoided entirely. The strategy was evolved. The strategy manifested so elegant. The war was avoided entirely. When the enemy army arrived, they found the king so calm and so radiating certainty. The enemies got frightened. They laid down their weapons without a single arrow being fired. And the war did not happen. Without even war happening, the king Sikidvaja won. In the Vedagamic cosmology, Nigamagamic cosmology. Understand, Nigama means Veda. In the Nigamagamic cosmology, prana or life force is not just breath. It's the primary vehicle of Shakti, the dynamic power of consciousness. The first tattva to emerge from pure consciousness is nada or vibration, followed by bindu or point, then shabda or sound, meaning your breath is the microcosmic expression of this macrocosmic vibration. Chudala, representing Parashakti or supreme energy, taught the king that controlling the breath is controlling the very oscillation of reality. Controlling the breath is controlling the very oscillation of the reality. The shift from panic to calm is instantly perceptible the moment the breath deepens. Modern neuroscience confirms the polyvagal theory, which shows that your nervous system has two settings: sympathetic, fight or flight, and parasympathetic, rest and digest. And the vagus nerve is the physical switch. Vagus nerve is the physical switch. Research on heart rate variability, HRV, shows that slow rhythmic breathing, specifically the 4-4-4 pattern, 4-4-4 pattern increases the HRV, which is directly correlated with cognitive flexibility, emotional regulation, and the brain's ability to perceive opportunities rather than threats. Listen. This 4-4-4. Actually, when you do 4-4-4, you will end up in holding little more than 4. That is okay. In practical sense. Because only after counting the 4 you will start exhaling. By the time the exhaling starts, it will be little more than 4. That is okay, no problem. This 4-4-4 pattern increases HRV, which is directly correlated with cognitive flexibility. Emotional regulation and the brain's ability to perceive opportunities rather than threats. The heart's electromagnetic field, measured by magnetocardiography, extends several feet beyond the body. The heart's electromagnetic field, measured by magnetocardiography, extends several feet beyond the body, precisely as our ancient rishis, Vasishta describes in Yoga Vasishta. Your 2 minutes of morning breath is not just relaxation, they are cosmic recalibration, where you are telling your nervous system, I am not being chased. I am not suffering any nightmare. I am creating. I am creating. I am manifesting. The next technique is being in the bhava, the This is not just a technique. This is you consciously training your brain, rewiring your brain to reorganize itself. This technique is very simple. Choose something small this week. A parking spot, or a specific message from your friend or the person whom you love, or a small unexpected sum of money. Choose very simple, something very small for you to gain confidence. So choose something small this week. Instead of hoping or forcing belief, simply know that it is already on its way. In the same relaxed tone, you would use to know the sun will rise tomorrow. When doubt inevitably shows up, do not argue with it or fight with it. Simply let it drift past like a passing cloud and gently return your attention to the calm certainty of knowing. Like you are Paramashiva, only that is going to manifest. Whatever other things comes and goes, doesn't matter, that and all is not going to manifest. So what you consciously hold only is going to manifest. Other things may come and go, they are not going to manifest. Not have anxiety whether I am holding my bhava rightly or suddenly something comes up, will that manifest? Drop the anxiety of holding the bhava. No. So listen. Drifting anxieties will not become real. In the ancient kingdom of Anga, King Dadivahana ruled with his queen Padmavati. Queen Padmavati during her pregnancy had a strong longing to ride through the park on a well-decorated elephant dressed in royal garments, with her husband holding the royal parasol over her. The king granted her wish, but during the ride, the elephant suddenly went amok. Despite the mouth's best efforts to control it, running wildly through the fields and forests, the elephant eventually became calm and entered a nearby pond. The queen escaped into the forest and reached a burial ground where she gave birth to a son on her own. The boy was named Karakandu because he was delivered by his own mother. Under a Vidyadhara's care, Karakandu became well versed in various arts and sciences. He was unaware of his royal origins and he was treated as an outcast by the society. he still carried a strong feeling, knowing he is going to become someone great. He mastered all the arts, sword fighting and other training. Meanwhile, the king of the neighboring land of Kalinga, Dantavarka, had passed away without an heir. The ministers decided to find the next ruler by following an ancient custom. They would release the royal elephant, beautifully decorated, and carrying a sacred garland to roam freely throughout the kingdom. The royal elephant possessed an unerring, divinely gifted instinct to recognize the true scion of royal blood. Whomever the elephant garlanded would be the rightful ruler. The elephant, followed by the officials and courtiers, strolled all over the town, but it did not garland anyone there. Instead, it went to the forest unguided. The great surprise of the officials, who nevertheless followed the elephant, there, resting peacefully under the tree, the Karakandu, unaware of the kingdom's search, unaware of the political turmoil, simply existing in complete stillness. The royal elephant approached the sleeping youth and with its trunk gently placed the sacred garland around his neck. The boy woke to find himself surrounded by bowing ministers and courtiers, who immediately relayed the news to the chief minister. The minister instructed that the young man must come to the palace, and Karakandu was thus crowned the king of the country. He did not seek the throne. The throne found him, because he was simply being who he was, and the universe recognized him. The garland represents Swatantriya, the sovereign freedom of consciousness to choose, recognize, and elevate without human interference or manipulation. Karakandu did not try to become king. He did not campaign. He did not negotiate, did not beg, did not strategize, did not even know he was being sought. He simply was, and his being was so aligned with the cosmic order that the divine instrument of recognition, the royal elephant, could not mistake. Have you ever had the experience of something you deeply desired arriving exactly when you stop chasing it? Stop forcing it. Stop checking for it. This is pratyaksh, direct perception of the knowing state at work. The Agamas speak of Jnana Shakti, or the power of knowledge, and Ichcha Shakti, or the power of will. And these are not separate, but the two sides of the same coin. This is the principle of predictive processing in neuroscience. Your brain is constantly generating predictions about reality, and when your predictions is one of certainty, reality rearranges itself to match that prediction. His life demonstrates that true kingship is not seized by force or strategy, but recognized by the universe when one is in a state of complete alignment. When you practice knowing, choosing something small and resting in the certainty of its arrival, you are not pretending or forcing belief that gritted teeth. You are becoming like Karakandu, so aligned with your nature that the universe recognizes, garlands you, and crowns you without you ever having to ask, chase, or struggle for it. The knowing state is not about getting, it is about being. When you simply are who you truly are, the kingdom comes to you. Just as it came to the sleeping boy under the tree. The third technique is programming the Karana Sarira through rewriting every night. Take your one main intention you want to manifest and write it down by hand. Then read it silently. You might have observed, naturally my hand goes more like a writing on the palm leaf than the pen, because when I was narrating, I was only narrating the original context with which this method was revealed. By the ancient. If you can get a palm leaf and know how to write, do it on palm leaf, that's great. If you don't know how to write on palm leaf, at least write on paper. Every night, take your one main intention you want to manifest and write it down by hand. Then read it silently. Then read it aloud. Then close your eyes and visualize it in full sensory detail, repeating this entire sequence several times. I am repeating. Take your one main intention you want to manifest and write it down by hand. Then read it silently. Then read it aloud. Then close your eyes and visualize, hold the bhava in its full sensory detail. Repeating this entire sequence several times. You are doing in scientific terms is flagging that intention as important to your own inner bouncer, which then activates the entire chain. First deciding this matter, then relentlessly scanning your environment for anything related to it, and finally driving you to act on whatever it finds. This is precisely why the moment you truly decide something matters, you suddenly begin noticing conversations, faces, and opportunities that were always present around you, but were simply never let pass the door before. In Ramayana, there is a story, King Dilipa. King Dilipa and his queen were childless. And in ancient India, a king without an heir, leaving the court worried, and Dilipa carrying a silent ache in his heart. He consulted the divine sage Rishi Vasishta, who gave a single instruction. Go to the forest and serve the divine cow Nandini, the wish-fulfilling cow of Vasishta, for 21 days. Serve her with every fiber of your being. Do not miss a day and do not ask for anything. Serve and let the service itself be your prayer. Dilipa did not complain. He did not ask for shortcuts. He held the intention in him so strong, with such dedication and discipline. Then he would act, sweeping her path, bringing fresh grass, fanning her when she was warm, and guarding her when she slept. Day 1, his back ached. Day 15, exhaustion set in, but he did not miss a single day. On the 21st day, a divine lion was sent in order to test Dilipa. Nandini panicked. Dilipa threw his body in front of her, prepared to die. to protect Nandini. And the lion, which was a test, just vanished. Nandini blessed him. Your intention is etched into the very fabric of your being. Your will have a son so powerful that he will become the grandfather of Lord Rama himself. So it happened. Dilipa was blessed with a child. His son was Raghu, the great grandfather of Rama. In Nigamagamic cosmology, tapas is not mere austerity, it is cosmic heat. The Kan Agamas describe the process of Antakarana, the inner instrument comprising mind, I should say comprising your compromising mind, intellect, ego and subconscious, being purified and programmed through repeated sankalpa or the divine resolve. Dilipa's 21 days represent the three gunas or qualities multiplied by the 7 chakras, which is a complete purification cycle. He was not asking for a favor. He aligned his jiva, individual. He aligned his jiva, individual soul with Paramashiva by simply following the Guru Vak that created the resonance that could not be denied. Have you ever noticed that when you truly decide something matters, like buying a red car, you suddenly start seeing red cars everywhere? They were always there, but your brain simply filtered them out until you encoded the intention. And this is pratyaksha. You directly perceive the shift in your perception. This is the neuroscientific phenomenon, the water carving a canyon. The more you repeat a sequence, write, read, speak, visualize, the more myelin or insulation wraps around those neurons, making the signal faster and more automatic. The subconscious mind processes about 40 million bits of information per second, while the conscious mind processes only 40 bits. The 21-day habit formation theory has been validated by modern behavioral psychology, explains that the core principle of consistent repetition for encoding remains robust. Your 30 days of reading the life script letter at waking and sleeping are your 21 days in the forest. You are not wishing, but carving a canyon of certainty into the soft rock of your brain. technique is a simple habit. I want to tell you, next technique is a simple, there is no real charge in it and nothing changes. If the goal is wildly disconnected from your current sense of self, your own mind will quietly discard it as fantasy before you have even finished writing it down. So for goal, write a heartfelt letter of gratitude entirely in the past tense as though it has already happened, describing not only the outcome itself but exactly how your life and your feelings have changed as a result. Place this letter under your pillow or on your nightstand, or keep it with your Atma Linga. Read it the very moment you are dissolved, and the door to your deeper cognition stands wide open. So continue without missing, even as for 30 days. And then put the letter away entirely. Release your grip on any timeline and simply take inspired action whatever ideas or opportunities show up next. Because checking constantly whether you drink wheat flour mixed with water, not milk. The boy returned home humiliated, and his mother said to him, "My son, kingship, heaven, liberation, and even a bowl of milk all come only through Shiva." Most children would have accepted this as a fate, but Ubhamanyu declared, "Do not lose heart. By grace of Shiva, I will make oceans of milk flow, and I will not stop until Shiva himself appears." He went to the forest, stopped eating, stopped drinking, and consumed nothing but air. And his penance was so intense. State refused. "I will not accept any from Mahadeva himself. You are not Shiva, leave me. You are not Shiva, leave me." Shiva was so moved that he revealed his true form along with Parvati and granted Upamanyu not just milk but Ganatva, a place among Shiva's own eternal Ganas, Shiva Ganas, attendants. This is the profound teaching of Bhoga or enjoyment versus Moksha or liberation. And the Agamas do not renounce desire but transmute it. Upamanyu's initial desire was milk, an object. The disguised Shiva offering milk represents the universe testing, whether you will settle for the symbol or hold out for the source. Can you feel the difference between desperation and completion? Desperation feels tight, hot, and grasping, while completion feels open, cool, and relaxed. And Upamanyu had moved from desperate hunger and the disguised Shiva offering milk represents the universe testing whether he will settle for the symbol or hold out for the source. Can you feel the difference between desperation and completion? Desperation feels tight, hot, and grasping, while completion feels open, cool, and relaxed. And Upamanyu had moved from desperate hunger to complete surrender because he was willing to die for the truth. And his body perceived this as completion, not lack. Upamanyu's refusal of the milk was his release of stress about the outcome. His desire itself, mutual for theta frequency, the ideal state for insight and manifestation. Theta frequency, theta frequency, the ideal state for insight and manifestation. When you write your letter and then put it away, you are refusing the lesser boon of checking it daily, moving into the checking it daily, moving into the knowing that seed is planted. Because the mango tree grows in the dark soil of your subconscious, not under the anxious light of your constant checking. I already know some of you will say, Swamiji, I forgot to read my letter. So here is a technique that is genuinely impossible to forget, because it uses something you already touch dozens of times a day without even noticing. Second step is this. For 7 consecutive days, every single time you make contact with water in any form whatsoever, drinking it, splashing your face, showering, brushing your teeth, cooking, washing dishes, doing laundry, watering a plant, even passing a fountain. you pause for one breath and say silently or aloud, thank you, exactly as though your goal has already been fulfilled. Your goal has already been fulfilled. This is the precise science behind the Hindu concept of achamana in our Vedagamas. Devotees perform achamana, sipping water, splashing it on their face and using it for purification. But every single action, cooking, offering, waking up, washing, during this they mentally repeat their Ishta mantra, personal goal with every touch. Understand the elegant reasoning behind this. You cannot forget water. You cannot skip water. And every one of those 30 or 40 daily contacts becomes a fresh, free encoding session for your subconscious running on autopilot without requiring an extra minute of your day. There is an incident in the Purana where sage Vasishta performs the Varuna Japa to bring rain. He did not do it with anxiety. He went into the state of Nyasa, total mental absorption, where he felt the rain soaking the earth while chanting over the water. In the Vishnu Purana, Bhagavan Vishnu lies in the infinite causal ocean. Before the creation, he simply holds the divine intention, sankalpa, a clear thought. From that single thought, the entire universe manifests out of that water. Water is the apas tattva, the principle of cohesion, fluidity, transmits intention. The Agamas describe water as having smriti, memory. Notice how you feel when you drink water and truly thirsty. There is visceral sense of relief and gratitude. And notice the feeling when you wash your face with cold water, a sense of renewal. And this immediate feeling is proof that water affects your consciousness. This is where modern research meets ancient. Including the electromagnetic field of the human heart and brain. The act of pausing to say thank you 30 to 40 times a day triggers the neurological reward pathway, releasing dopamine and serotonin, creating a biochemical state of completion that opens the creative centers of the brain. This is also validated by positive psychology research, where daily gratitude practices are shown to rewire the brain's default mode. Sense of the whole satsang. Listen. You are not a beggar standing outside the gates of existence hoping desperately to be noticed. You were never separate from the cosmos to begin with, and you will never be. Every time you breathe deeply like Sikidvaja, you tell your nervous system, I am creating, not surviving. Every time you know like Karakandu, you tell the universe, I see through all your disguises. Every time you encode like Dileepa, tell your subconscious, this intention matters more than my doubt. Every time you complete like Upamanyu, you tell existence and start declaring. 2 minutes of heart mode breath. Anahata prana Jakratam. Before your phone, your letter, before your phone, your letter read at waking and sleeping, a genuine thank you. At every water contact, and one brave aligned action taken every day, however small. The moment the old scarcity recording plays in your head, do not argue with it. Do not shame yourself for it. Simply say, cancel old program, not mine, and continue walking. Stop opening the oven door every 2 hours to check if the cake has risen. Something needs only your patient trust, not your anxious supervision. Be blissful. Go now and live exactly as though the wealth, the health, the love, or the freedom you seek has already happened. And simply walk backward, calmly and gratefully into the memory of it becoming true. Today, I have 2 great digital gifts from MahaKailasa for all of you. First, the Book of Surrender, digital book, and the second is Venkateshwara Yantra. Receive it and enjoy it. Blessings for today's Shodasi Homa Yajaman, Ma Natali Bhagwat, Sangalpa Phala Siddhi Prapti Rastu. Blessings to every one of you. Be blissful.
Foundational, first principle of Sanatana Hindu Dharma is Guru-disciple relationship. Everything starts there, everything ends there, but this itself does not end.
Guru Purnima Day is such an auspicious day. Whatever incompletion, impossibility, no patterns you carry, drop all that today. Offer all that to me, I'll burn them away. And take up the possibility as a lifestyle. Become part of the Sangha. Live Advaita. for humanity. On Guru Purnima day, the official integrating people means officially accepting them into the campuses, Kailasa, will begin. This is the single most powerful declaration in the whole Sanatana Hindu Dharma. The entire body of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, Sannyas Sampradaya, when they take sannyas, they drop everything of